Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let's say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for merciful and salutation to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And today I'm Putra Lustari from Islamic University of Ogan, Komerimg, Ilir. I want to presentation journal with the title "The Influence of Guided Reading Technique Towards Students' Reading Comprehension," written by Eva Saptarina, Language and Education Journal, Volume 2, Number 2, November 2017. Firstly is introduction. Nowadays, people need to know much information about what happened in the world so that they will not left behind. One of the way is through reading. Reading is the perceiving a written text in order to understand its content. Richard, 1992, p.306. Reading is the most dominant skill in learning because the ability to read is not only performs to pronounce the passage but also understanding the message from the passage or text. Grip and Stoller 2002 p.52 state that reading skills are techniques that enhance comprehension and retention of information contained printed material. According to Rubel 2005 p.88, the most common academic goal of reading is reading comprehension. Comprehension is active process of constructing meaning from the text. Snow 2002 p.11 defines reading comprehension as the process of simultaneously extracting and constructing meaning through interaction and involvement with written language. The reader should have the abilities to find and construct the meaning to conclude author's idea. The reader success is determined by student comprehension, but unfortunately, the students still have difficulties comprehending their reading because they still lack their interest in reading. Wolfman 2003 p.2. From the writer's investigation, she found that local student reading comprehension and students' reading interest were very low. In teaching English, the teacher did not provide some of the interesting media to support the teaching and learning process. The teacher of English commonly use grammar translation method in teaching reading skill. The student just use book that had given by government with unclear picture in it. As a result, it did not attract the student to understand what they were reading. So one of effective technique can be applied was guided reading technique. According to Franz and Pinel 2001, p.189 1993, guided reading is an instructional setting that enables teachers to work with a small group of students to help them learn effective strategies for processing text with understanding. The purpose guided reading is to meet the varying instructional needs of all the students in the class, enabling them to greatly expand their reading powers. Guided reading is that designed to help individual students to learn how to process a variety of increasingly challenging text with understanding and fluency, then improve a student in reading and define the effective technique for reading skill. Guided reading occurs in a small group because the small group allows for interaction among readers that benefit them all. Then a teacher selects and introduces text to readers, sometimes support them while reading text, engages the readers in discussion, and performs mini lessons. After reading text, the teacher sometimes extends the meaning of the text through writing, text analysis, or another learning activity. Based on the explanation above, the main purpose of this study was to prove whether or not the students who were taught reading by using guided reading technique had significantly different achievement than that of those who were not. Methodology. The method used in this study was quasi-experimental and control group method. The writer used flipping coin to decide the experimental group and control group. The population in this study will be 10th grade student of senior high school number 1 Sirah Pulau Padang. The sample in this study will be taken using purposive sampling, and the sample were 70 students. The collecting data in this study used the written test in the form of multiple choice. In this study, to shift the reliability to the consistency of the measurement, Kuder-Richardson formula KR21 was applied, and the t-test was used to analyze the data. The next is discussion and result. And this is the result of two groups who have carried out the pre-test and post-test. The first group is experimental group. For the pre-test, the main score is 41.76 and the standard deviation is 12.994, and for highest score is 64 and lowest score is 20. And the post test in the experimental group, the main score is 65.54 and standard deviation 14.785, and the for highest score is 94 and the lowest score is 38. And the second group is control group. For pre-test, the main score is 36.69 and the standard deviation 8.690, and the for highest score is 62 and the lowest score is 18. The post-test in control group, the main score is 53.30 and the standard deviation 12.274, and the for highest score 78 and the lowest score is 34. And the next is the result of the test. There was a significant difference in student reading comprehension between the students who were taught using guided reading technique and that of those who were not. By using guided reading technique, the students were sitting in the small group so that in group they discussed the content of the text to improve their understanding of the text, could improve student reading comprehension. The result showed that guided reading technique improved student reading comprehension. The next is conclusion. Guided reading is a technique that a teacher can use to help students become great readers based on the analysis used quasi-experimental method of the data. The writer used the written test in the form of multiple choice, and the t-test was used to analyze the data. There was a significant difference in students' reading comprehension between the students who were taught using guided reading technique and that of those who were not. So, the guided reading technique could improve students' reading comprehension. Okay, that's all my presentation. I would say thank you for your attention. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.